Well, welcome to the CX report powered by EGS. This is episode one, and this is a new podcast that we've just recently launched, and we're in the process of bringing in a whole host of really great guests to talk about all things CX within the global call center, customer support industry. So, my name is Steve Shevlin. I'm the host of this podcast. I'm the founder and CEO of Emerging Global Services, and I appreciate you joining us to listen in for a bit today. So, today's subject is to talk a bit about the contact center turnover crisis. So, one of the things that not just DGS, but all companies that are in the call center industry worldwide, we all have to deal with employee turnover. And fortunately, within our organization, we've found ways to have really pretty low turnover. But and a lot of companies have, a lot of different organizations have done a good job of figuring this out. But then there's still many organizations out there that struggle with it. And different regions of the world, whether it's US or Latin America or Africa or parts of Europe, doesn't matter. Everybody struggles with it in some form or fashion. So we want to talk a little bit about that today and some solutions or ideas to think about if you haven't already. But traditional fixes like, people often think, well, we need to increase pay, do more recognition. Some of that just doesn't always solve some of these issues. Employees want meaningful investment and support. And one of the things we try to do is to create a culture of growth and a culture of true, genuine, authentic care in our employees and spending time to really invest in them. Um, the pay raise myth, or beyond the pay raise myth, real investment in people. Compensation alone doesn't stop burnout. Many agents simply lack the training, tools, or guidance to succeed. Um, at least at our organization, and I'm curious to hear from others, how much time the C-level executives personally spend time investing in and or mentoring employees at the call center, within the contact center. Sometimes we get so busy focused on the strategy and sales or, client relations or board meetings that we can forget that at the end of the day, at least within this industry, the most important thing in our business are the people. And it's the people who are doing the work for our clients. So, taking an example, one of the things we've done is whenever we've tasked employees to do certain things, we don't want to just assume they always know how to do it. Skill sets like Microsoft Excel or presentations or what have you. We want to sometimes show them how to do it. Spend the time to show them. Little things like that go a long way. Um, Investing both in work and life skills. We've brought in world-class trainers from various parts of Latin America as well as in the US who have done training for our team just on, how to manage finances or how to make investments. We try to do, personal investments as they grow with the company. So we try to do a lot of different things um to bring value, to bring over and above perceived value, which they may not always get in a lot of other jobs. I can speak specifically to Mexico. In the area of Mexico where we operate, we're in northern Mexico. And that region, there are a lot of huge US corporations there hiring and investing in the labor force there. So, you don't have Microsoft there, you don't have Google's there per se. And so um, we become an employer of choice. And because of our culture and because of the word of mouth that starts to spread about the things we do. So it's very important to get creative as you think of ways to invest in your people to retain them. Um, Career growth reimagined, development, not just a promotion. So many call centers define growth as move into management, but most employees don't want to be managers. They want to get better at what they do right now every day. So we tend to focus on, building masteries, building confidence, um, personal development, helping employees feel like they're, advancing, not just at work, but within life itself. Um, Culture that builds belonging and reduces burnout. Real culture is about belonging, not just gimmicks. It's about employees knowing their value, they're respected, they're supported. Um, we have a always accessible policy. Both myself, Adrian Reynoso, our chief operating officer, they can spend time with us, talk to us about anything, anytime. And that's quite counterculture to what you see in Mexico. Mexico tends to have a company culture where the owners and executives of the company tend to be way up here, to even to the point where their offices are almost elevated and looking down on the workforce within the office environment. And that's quite common in Mexico. And we take a complete opposite approach where sometimes I take just whatever seats available. I don't need some fancy office to do my work. Now we do have various, conference rooms and things, and we always have an open door and we allow employees to come in and just tell us how things are going, what's going on in life, tell us about what they like or don't like about the job they have right now. I should also mention, when it comes to, perks and things like that. I mean, a lot of companies have great food. They have parties. They we do a lot of fun events, and that's all really, really good. One of the things we've implemented is giving free Uber rides. We have an Uber account and making it easy for our employees to get to work on time and then get home. Sometimes the bus systems, or not everyone can afford a car. The bus systems don't often work great. They do operate where we're at, but sometimes they're not always on time or not always that great. So it's little things like that that we've invested in that has really, kept our turnover very low. Um, the ROI of low turnover, a global competitive advantage. Low turnover means cost savings, stronger agent expertise, and higher client satisfaction. Low turnover means much higher quality work for our clients, meaning we're not always hiring and we don't always have new people doing work. They're not always in training. We get people who are on the project and they've been on the project for years. That goes a very long way when it comes to meeting and exceeding our clients' expectations. That's very hard to do in the United States. So we work with a lot of companies that previously were running a contact center operation in the US. And in the US, it's very difficult to retain call center employees for very long. Now, there are portions of the US where I think companies do a nice job of retaining, and employees are there longer. But there are many other parts of the US where, a call center job just doesn't provide enough income for people. So they come and go, they come and go. Different types of incentives and different types of investments are what's really important to retain people, to make sure you maintain a real advantage, at least in the areas where we operate. I want to talk a little bit about team size. When we bring on new clients within our organization, we get a lot of requests initially is, can you just bring on 4 or 5 or 6 people initially? We try to keep the team size at a minimum of 10 or 11 or more to start. And the reason is because there's something about that team size and greater where if you do have, or when you do have some employee turnover, it doesn't impact the operation too much. When you have 4 or 5 or 6 people on a project and you lose one or two, you're now at what, 25, 30% turnover. It gets perceived as you have very high turnover, but in reality, you just lost 1 or 2 people, which is pretty normal over time. So we try to encourage our clients and you guys, people who are listening to this, if you're an outsourcer like we are, or if you're a prospective client looking to maybe consider moving or outsourcing some of your contact center operations, think about it from the standpoint of a team of 10 or more, because that's a team size that's going to work well to keep turnover low. And I've got what a good, well, many, many years, but in this business, a good 10 to 12 years where that routinely is the case. And we do have some clients where we have 5 or 6 people. And when we do lose somebody, it has a real impact on their business. Last thing I want to talk about is AI and artificial intelligence. And of course, it's a it's a big deal these days, the use of this technology within the business. We've been using it and we do deploy it for client facing solutions, such as a conversational robot that can answer calls instantaneously. But one of the ways we've really been deploying it recently has been internally. We encourage all of our employees to use AI. We have a, company subscription for them to all use for training, efficiency, creativity. One unique method is just asking AI to interview them about their own ideas. So we encourage our managers and our call center agents to always come up with, as they're handling calls for our clients and they get ideas, let us know about them. Look at what about ways we could improve the experience and we can bring that to the client. Well, we find that if we teach them a bit, take some of these ideas, run it through AI, and let the AI interview them and challenge them a bit about the idea. And it helps them think even more and think even further to the point where they even get more excited about their own idea. Or sometimes I realize, what, it's not a good idea. It's not going to work for whatever reason that maybe they hadn't thought about. I do this myself when I'm thinking of ideas for our own business, and I found it to be very valuable. So this is just a very simple technique that you could deploy within your organization with your own employees. Encourage them to use it as a tool to refine ideas. And then we've done this several times. And then what happens is we bring these ideas to our clients. And then a number of times now the clients have liked it, and we test it out. It doesn't mean we deploy it full speed right away, but we test it out. So these are some different things that we've done, we emphasize culture and employee development, innovation through AI, having good, clear work structure, keeping teams of the right size to keep any type of employee turnover low, keeping it low to the best that we can. So these are just some of the things that we do within our organization. So I'd love to hear more from others who have others ideas on this, and look forward to continuous and further exchange of ideas. So thank you for your time. Thanks for listening, and check back. At least every week we'll be releasing 1 to 2 new podcasts for the next many, many months as we continue to share ideas, receive feedback, and then bring on some other real experts in the areas of all things CX. Thank you.